If you're currently running an agency or an info product or whatever, and you're looking to build a sales team, or you already have a sales team, but the sales team just isn't performing as you want it to perform, then there are reasons for that. There are simple reasons for that. And the number one thing why a sales team isn't performing is always the same. It's because you tolerate the wrong people. So if you're experiencing this, if you have a sales team right now, and they're just not hitting the KPIs, they're not booking you as many calls as you want to, they are not closing as many as you want to, then listen up to this video, because what I'm going to talk about are basically the 3 main pillars that you would need in your sales team to make sure those guys go out and fucking crush it, okay? They don't look back, they don't do shit, they don't watch Netflix, they don't jerk off, they don't do any of that shit. They just focus on making you as much money as possible. But hey, before we get into this, if you don't already know me, my name is Julian, and I'm basically the founder of Boost My Sales. Now, at Boost My Sales, we are basically a recruitment company, and we specialize in helping companies like yours, coachings, agencies, whatever, to hire the right sellers, to hire the right closers, and to make sure that these guys actually perform. Because if they don't, then you won't make any more money. Okay, so one thing that I constantly see when I talk to people that are making between 50k to 200k a month is that they know they need sellers, they know they need closers, they know they need really good people, but they can't really find those people. They don't really know what makes us people, you know? And I'm gonna give you now 3 pillars that will help you to, first of all, hire the right people and to manage them correctly. Now let's immediately start with the first pillar, because the first pillar is, in my opinion, one of the most important things. It's literally to understand the roles, you know? It's to understand the roles and to be able to reverse them. If, for example, you are right now on an interview with an appointment setter, okay, and you're talking to this guy, what are you gonna do? You're basically trying to find out if the guy's a good fit for the company or if he's just bullshitting you, if he's just not good enough for you, right? Man, if you're on such a call, what you want to do is you obviously want to ask him certain questions, but you also want to look at how he represents himself. How does he come across, you know? How's the body language? How does he speak? If you can immediately see that this guy is an A player, you can immediately sense that this guy is, you know, he has some leadership abilities. If you can imagine that the roles are reversed and you are the seller and he's the business owner, ask yourself this question: would you work for that guy? If the answer is yes, you would work for this guy because he's just smart, he's a leader, he has all those things. Hire him immediately. Those are the best people. But if you want to call someone and he's a bit shy or he's just nervous, shit like that, don't take him on the team. Really, because the best people are always the people that have leadership abilities. They are the A players, okay? And these kind of people, when you have them on the team, they don't wait for you to tell them what the fuck to do. They just go out and get after it, you know? For example, I had this incident once where we had a problem with the LinkedIn account. So what the fuck did my seller do? He just went to Apollo, he created a new LinkedIn account, and then he just changed the whole fucking outreach method. And he did something in between because he knew, okay, this shit doesn't work, I have to find someone. Man, I was on holiday at that time. I couldn't react to this fast enough, you know? So if you hire those people, man, like, you will never go broke. You will always have a business that functions even when you don't even work. And this directly leads me to my second point, which is basically how you evaluate if someone is good or bad. Most people on an interview call, all they do is they basically just ask a bunch of questions. Like, what did you do before this job? What kind of made you interested into getting into appointment setting, into closing, whatever. All those questions are good. But what you actually want to find out is the input of the person, not the outputs, okay? Most founders on the team, most business owners, they are just like, yo, what results have you generated in the past? You know, what have you done before for this company, before you came to us? How many calls you did, all that kind of stuff. But I think that's the wrong perspective to look at it. Because, man, compared to cooking, okay? When you, for example, cook a meat, like, what is gonna make the meat good? Is it how you cook it, or is it the ingredients? You know, like, most people have this false belief that it's the cooking, you know, just because when you cook it in a very specific way, it turns out to be better. No, you need to have the right ingredients. If you have the best ingredients in your meat, it's gonna be the best, you know, it's gonna taste the best. You can see this with private chefs all around the world. What they do is, you know, some of them are crazy enough to, like, go out and buy their own farm, get high quality grass-fed animals, and then cook you a steak that's actually good. It's not about the pan they use, it's not about, you know, how they cook the meat, what kind of oil or butter they use. It's not about that. The meat is the meat, okay? The meat is what makes the meat. So you have to make sure that the inputs of this person are right. So instead of asking him, like, what kind of results did he generate, how much money did he make for the last role, you'd be better off asking, okay, what was the input? Like, how much did you put in, okay? How much did you do on a daily basis? Like, how many hours did you work? How many DMs did you send? What did you do when you are finished? Like, after you've worked 8 hours a day, after you think you've done enough, what have you done there? If you can make sure that you find someone that's actually hungry, that has the right inputs, and that that is really prepared to just put in the work that you would expect him to put in, or even more, then you know that this guy is someone that you actually want to have on your team, not just a bullshitter. So even if someone is telling you they closed a bunch of deals, you know, they're really good at it, ask them for the process, ask them for what specifically they say when this or that happens. If they can't explain that to you and you actually get the point, then you know that they don't know anything. They're just talking a lot of bullshit. So look at the insides, not just the outsides. So now that we've covered pillar 2 and pillar 1, I want to quickly touch on pillar 3, which is the difference between A players and B players. And I think that's the most important thing that you have to realize in a company. There's a big difference between these kind of people, their behavior, their characteristics, everything. And you will only find this out after testing them, okay? So the first 2 pillars are things that you should look at before you get them on the team, just to make sure you don't get the absolute fucking worst guy on the team. And this pillar is something that you have to look at once the person is on the team. Because once he's on the team, you just can't sit back. You can't be like, you're a harder setter now. No, like you have to constantly look at this guy and you have to make sure that he's the right guy. Now, the difference between an A player and a B player, mostly you will immediately notice this, okay? Like just tell him like, okay, how many DMs do you send on a daily basis? Like I always like to do this with my setters, okay? I tell them, okay, like look, usually we want you to send out 100 DMs a day, but 50 is required. Let's aim for around 70. And if you see that he hits 50 KPIs, 50 DMs every single day, then you know he's just doing the minimum. He's just putting in the minimum work. He's not going out and doing as much as he possibly could. And if he's missing some KPIs, bro, then you can immediately throw him out. But you want to have someone on the team that is determined to go out and do as much as they fucking can. You know, even after they've worked 8 hours a day, they're still on the grind. If something doesn't work, they don't wait until you fix it for them. They go out and try to find a way to fix it themselves. You know, this is something that I like a lot about the setters that I have on the team and the setters that my clients have. Like these guys that are not like, you know, just passively waiting until you tell them what to do. They proactively go out and try to make a fuck ton of money in different ways, okay? Like even if it's a whole different outreach strategy that you haven't done before. Like even with my setter, you know, when he used this Apollo kind of stuff, when the LinkedIn cut didn't work, like he just tried fucking email outreach out of the sudden, you know? I wasn't there, dude. I didn't know about the shit. Like he just tried email outreach, dude. Like think about that, you know? Most setters would just be like, yeah, okay, have a day off. Dude doesn't reply, LinkedIn doesn't work, good, I'm gonna go outside. You know, those are not the people that you want to have in a team. And another thing, another characteristics about them, the speed in which they operate. When you tell them to do something, how fast do they actually get it done? And you have to challenge those people, okay? And when you challenge them to do something faster, look at how they respond to it. Do they make excuses? Are they like, nah, let's not try to do this in 2 days. Let's use a full week for this, okay? If you have people like that, immediately throw them out. Because compared to like Elon Musk, right? I think most of you all know this kind of story about Elon Musk, where he's like talking about this kind of rocket that he built, you know? I mean, we all know the vision of Elon Musk, right? He wants to go to Mars. Now, when he wants to go to Mars, well, you know, like, what the fuck does he need? He needs rockets that constantly fly up there, you know? And he wants to civilize Mars before he's dead, okay? So he has some time pressure to go after that. So when his people, when he basically hired a bunch of scientists, a bunch of engineers, a bunch of people that are really good at what they do, he gave them one task. Try to calculate how long it would take to build us a rocket. And they came back to Elon, they told him it would take 10 years. Now what did this guy do? Well, of course, like he told them to fuck them, to fuck themselves. You know, that's basically what he told them. Just to go out and fuck themselves. And after he told them to fuck off, he told them, you guys have 6 months to build this rocket, not 10 years. And if you can't do it, I'll fire you guys. Well, of course, like now, those people, they had pressure as well, you know? They kind of had to do it. And it's funny, you know? Because his scientists, his engineers, they came up with a whole different battle plan on how to build a rocket. They first built a video game to like tell them if their plan they would basically build with the rocket in real life would work. And then afterwards, if they have seen that, you know, in the big game it basically works, the rocket flies up, then they go ahead and build it in real life too. So they had to kind of change strategies and actually ended up doing it in 8 months. Like they built a fucking rocket in 8 months, which would have taken them 10 years. It's the same thing with your guys in the team. And it's not just about the setters, but it's mostly about setters and closers, you know? It's mostly about those people. Try to challenge them, try to make sure they're fast, and don't accept them to be slow. If they're slow, like your whole growth will be slow. You want jetpack growth, okay? You don't want to be like slow as fuck. You want to exponentially grow your income. And if that's what you want to do, and you feel like you need the right setters and closers on the team, then please go ahead, click on the link below in the description of this video, and check out the links that I have for you. Because we can help you out with building the right sales team. We can help you out with finding the right guys for a team, just to make sure that they actually fucking put in the work. So just to wrap this off, a really strong sales team basically consists out of 3 things. First of all, like a really good team, really good ingredients, you know, The ingredients are so important. Like just the right people with the right characteristics. Then it's leadership. If you're the right leader for them and you have the right systems to support them, then you're gonna make a fuck lot of money. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, follow the page, and I'll see you in the next one.